Take a close look. In this top-notch noble college, a poor and specially recruited girl is being trampled underfoot by Sarah, the daughter of the wealthiest and most powerful family in the school. And all of this was simply because the girl accidentally bumped into her in the corridor and sold her haute couture dress worth $1 million. At this moment, this girl named Dolores is enduring the most profound humiliation because of her poverty. Despite her repeated apologies, Sarah Grant before her showed no sign of giving up. Sarah was the apple of the Grant families and was always domineering. She contemptuously called Dolores a dirty cockroach and tore up Dolores' school bag and drawing in public. For Sarah, Dolores' apology was worth nothing. What she wanted was complete crushing and humiliation. Seeing that Dolores refused to bow her head again, Sarah directly ordered her attendants to catch her, threatening that whoever could make her kneel down and beg for mercy would receive a generous reward from the Grant family. Just as Dolores was about to be pinned to the ground by the crowd, a voice of justice emerged in time. Campus heartthrob Brian King pushed his way through the crowd, pushed Sarah away with one hand, and shielded the shivering Dolores behind him. Brian was a prominent figure in the school. At a glance, he recognized that the girl being bullied before him was Dolores, the top-performing student who had long held the top spot in her grade. When Sarah saw that her beloved Brian had actually stood up for a poor fellow, her jealousy instantly burst out. She questioned Brian why he favored this poor guy from the countryside, but Brian merely coldly warned her that if she dared to bully the weak again, he would tell Sarah's grandfather exactly what had happened today. Hearing the words grandpa, Sarah's arrogance instantly cooled down by half, and she could only watch helplessly as Brian took Dolores away. However, this matter is far from over. Looking at Brian's departing figure, Sarah's eyes were filled with malice. She would never allow the man she had her eye on to be snatched away by a poor girl who was good for nothing. The attendant beside immediately devised a vicious plan, vowing to ruin Dolores' reputation and expel her completely from this noble academy. A conspiracy against Dolores is brewing in the shadows. On the other side, Dolores' mood calmed down a little under the comfort of her friend. Just then, Brian came over on his own initiative, gently inquired about her injuries, and formally introduced himself. Faced with the concern of her idol, Dolores, who was already introverted, blushed and her heart raced instantly, so nervous that she couldn't say a word. After a quick thank you, she shyly ran away, claiming that the registration for the art club was about to close. Looking at the girl's cute figure fleeing in a panic, Brian couldn't help but smile, doting at the corner of his mouth. But no one could have imagined that the real reversal had only just begun. A few days later, a major piece of news exploded on campus. This year, the most mysterious and top-notch elite art club in the whole school made an exception and recruited a new member. You should know that this club was founded by the legendary artist Rachel Grant. Every member who has come out of it has become a world-renowned artist. The threshold is so high that even a rich girl like Sarah can't get in. When the invitation was handed to Dolores, everyone was stunned. The classmates around were buzzing with discussion, unable to believe that this scholarship girl, whom they regarded as a country bumpkin, had suddenly risen to the top and entered the top circle they had longed for. Dolores herself was so moved that tears welled up in her eyes, for that legendary Rachel Grant was the idol she had always regarded as her lifelong goal. She held the invitation tightly, as if she saw the door to her dream opening to her. The question is, why would the club that Sarah couldn't get into, which is also from the Grant family, open its doors to a poor girl who has nothing to do with her family? Who on earth is this Rachel Grant? What unknown connection exists between her and Dolores? When Sarah, who is determined to take revenge, discovers that the thorn in her eye and flesh has entered a realm that even she herself cannot reach, what crazy means will she use to destroy Dolores? Take a close look. This girl, who is surrounded in a corner by a group of rich kids and called a rat in the gutter, is actually the apple of a mysterious tycoon's eye that even the top and powerful families have to hold in awe. And all of this began on her first day of school. The girl's name is Dolores. To experience the life of an ordinary person, she hides her prominent family background and comes to this noble school alone. On the first day of school, she greeted a kind old man kindly, but she never expected that this scene would bring about a huge disaster. That old man was precisely the biological grandfather of Sarah, the daughter of the school bully at school. Seeing her grandfather treat the poor girl with a pleasant expression, Sarah's jealousy instantly burst out. She deliberately approached Dolores, pretending to pass by her casually, and immediately a vicious plan took shape in her mind. Sure enough, Dolores had not yet taken 2 steps when Sarah's exaggerated scream came from behind her. Sarah covered her hand and claimed that the precious ring she was wearing, which her grandfather had given her, was missing. She insisted that it was the poor girl Dolores who had stolen it just now. The wealthy young men around immediately gathered around. They had long been dissatisfied with this plain-dress transfer student, and now they had found an excuse to make trouble. They spoke one after another, slandering Dolores as a thief, a rat in the gutter, and attempting to steal in exchange for lunch money. Facing the groundless accusations from this group of people, Dolores argued her case forcefully, emphasizing that she had never seen any rings and it was even more impossible for her to have stolen them. However, Sarah's followers all gave false testimony, claiming to have seen Dorothy's hand reach out to Sarah with their own eyes. For a moment, Dolores, who had no way to defend herself, became the target of everyone's criticism. Just then, the old man stepped forward. He believed that Dolores was not a child who would steal things and hoped that his granddaughter Sarah would not be unreasonable. To everyone's shock, Sarah not only refused to listen to the advice, but also spoke ill of her own grandfather, threatening that if he continued to help others, she would no longer recognize him as her grandfather. The old man's face was filled with heartache, yet he could do nothing about it. On the other side, while Dolores was being humiliated by a classmate with excellent grades in a top-floor office, a powerful man received an urgent report from his subordinate. His most precious daughter, Miss Grant, was being bullied at school. The man's eyes instantly turned cold. He put down the contract worth hundreds of millions in his hand and simply said, "Go to St. Peter's School right away. A earth-shattering storm is about to come. Here at the school, the conflict is still escalating." Seeing that her grandfather couldn't hold back the situation either, Sarah simply shook someone and called her mother, Rachel Grant, the famous powerful woman in the city. Over. When Dorothy saw Rachel, a glimmer of hope still flashed through her heart, because Rachel had always been her idol. Naively, she thought that a big shot like Rachel would surely be able to distinguish right from wrong, but she never expected that this glimmer of hope would be crushed to pieces by reality in an instant. As soon as Rachel got out of the car, she didn't even glance at Dolores and directly pulled her daughter into her arms. After hearing Sarah's exaggerated crying and complaining, she immediately pointed her finger at Dolores. She didn't give Dolores a chance to explain at all. Her eyes were filled with contempt and disgust, as if Dolores were some kind of filthy trash. Dolores tried to explain to her idol, but was interrupted by Rachel's loud slap. Rachel's arrogance reached its peak. She told Dolores that her daughter didn't need any evidence. As long as she said it was you who stole, then you were the thief. She even viciously attacked Dolores' family, mocking her for having no family education, which was why she had done such a despicable thing. Rachel's words pierced Dolores' heart like sharp knives. She finally understood that the so-called idol was nothing but a protective maniacal, who was wrapped in a halo and couldn't distinguish right from wrong. Seeing that Dolores still refused to admit it, Sarah and her mother Rachel became even more crazy. They decided to search Dolores' body in public to see where she had hidden the ring. This is no longer a simple search, but a blatant humiliation. A boy named Ryan couldn't stand it anymore and wanted to speak up for justice, but was scolded by Sarah, saying it was her family business and telling him to get out of the way. Rachel even directly ordered the bodyguards to catch this shameless trash and conduct a thorough search. Two tall bodyguards immediately stepped forward and roughly grabbed Dolores' arm, attempting to tear her clothes. Dolores struggled desperately, but her strength seemed so insignificant in front of an adult man. Despair instantly enveloped her. She never expected that her concealment of her identity would bring her such humiliation and humiliation. Just as her clothes were about to be torn apart, a cold, frost-like question, brimming with endless rage, exploded in everyone's ears like a bolt of thunder. "Who dares to touch my daughter?"